Good morning and welcome to BTHQ Banter week 12. It is Friday and I'm looking a little bit snazzy today. I've put some makeup on my face, popped on a frock because I'm having a filming day today. So as you can see behind me, I've got the big lights out, I've got all my fabric laid out on the table and I'm ready to video project number 4 for our online sewing club. The lovely Naomi has just arrived. Hello! You've probably seen her popping up a lot in the vlogs recently, but she's basically making use of our exclusive access program, which basically means she can come in and use the facilities whenever we haven't got a class on, and it's just a nice way of keeping the studio busy and buzzing. And I've gone all out of focus, but I'm not going to re-record it. So you're not really going to see much for today's vlog because obviously I'm filming secret squirrel stuff, but obviously the link is down below for the sewing club and very soon I will reveal the projects. So we've had people in the lounge, but before you leave, I've got to wipe your memory from everything that you've seen here this morning.
I wasn't looking.
Zap. So it's 1:45 and I have finished filming the big project that I had to do today, which is great. I have managed to melt some UPVC vinyl with an iron, which is good really because I'm trying to teach people how to use it. So the fact that mistakes happen teaches you not to do the things that I've done, which is always good. Anyway, I'm going to carry on a bit more recording. We've got 2 more projects I'd like to try and get under my belt, but ideally I want to try and be away from here by about 4, half 4 if I can. Another day is over at BTHQ and it's time to go home. I got my secret squirrel project done and my Hazy Days cushion all filmed. So now comes the hours and hours of editing. But it will be worth it in the end. Anyway, I'm going home now. I will see you all tomorrow for another busy day in the studio. Good morning, it's Saturday. I'm in BTHQ nice and early. If you can hear the noise behind me, the cleaning lady is in cleaning the communal areas of the studio. That's the joys of this place, is that all of my electricity and gas and everything else is included in my rent, and all the communal areas which I share with 4 other units get cleaned on a weekly basis, so we don't have to do it, which is super. So today is not that particularly busy. We have a fully booked crochet class this morning, Crochet for Beginners Part 1, so I'll be taking that, and in Unit 1 here Maddie is going to be taking Part 1 of our pattern drafting course, but she's just got 2 pupils for that this morning, so they're going to have a nice day with lots of attention, I'm sure. I did have a pupil this afternoon. Unfortunately she's poorly, so that does give me the afternoon off, and the decision will be, do I film another tutorial that I've got up my sleeve, or do I go home and have the afternoon at home? Lindsay and Ray are busy stitching up their bodice toiles. They've been Speedy Gonzalez's and done all of the fiddly bit of pattern drafting today, and I've already created their patterns for their block, so I'll be interested to see how they fit. I completely forgot to turn the camera on during my crochet class, but I had 4 lovely beginners who all did really well and have gone home to do their homework, and we'll be back again same time next week. Good morning, it's Monday. Welcome back to BTHQ Banter. As you can see, it's a glorious sunny day today and it's really lovely and warm here in the studio. It is admin day today. Admin obviously not in the truest sense of the word. It's a chance for me to prep. Mum comes in, has a bit of a tidy up, which is lovely. I've got a few other little jobs for her to do today. But today I'm joined by an extra special guest. This is Duggar. Duggar is my daughter's beloved best friend. He goes everywhere with her, not to school obviously and out and about, but he's slept with every single night and he always comes on holiday with us. So yesterday Izzy and I were talking. We're going to go on holiday again in a couple of weeks' time. And he's going on a long haul flight, and obviously it's always our concern as a family that he's going to go walkies on those trips. So we've decided that we are going to make him, or I am going to make him, a harness so that he can be worn across her body when she's going through the airport, and he can remain nice and safe. So that's my job today. It's nothing to do with work, but I need to make up a harness for Duggar. So what I'm doing here is basically wrapping Duggar in fabric and removing bits of it and putting it back on, taking more off, putting it back on until I get a shape that I'm happy with. Then I've transferred that to paper to make a paper pattern, which I've then cut out, and I can then make in fabric. So we've had a busy day. Mum, as you can see, is making up kits at the moment for our intermediate crochet course. I have finished Duggar's coat. I'm quite pleased with it. I think I will show you it in full detail later on because I need to take it home and we need to see how long the strap needs to be so that Izzy can wear it. But I'm very pleased. It's got rivets and everything in it. And I've also been having a go a little bit of quilting. So I know how to quilt, I can quilt, but our quilting teacher has recently retired and therefore we no longer have a beginners patchwork and quilting class currently on our timetable. So I thought I would develop a very easy one that I know that I can teach, just so that we can have a beginner's session back on the schedule. So I've done my quilt top, which I'm very pleased with. I've just got to wait for some glue basting spray to arrive through the post so that I can baste it up and start quilting it. So I've just gone for a simple rail fence quilt. I'm quite pleased with that, and I've used all of the scraps from a lot of our recent classes and projects, so didn't want to waste brand new fabric. That's me done for the day. I will see you again on Tuesday. Good morning, it's Tuesday. Welcome back to BTHQ. The ladies are busy next door. They're making our lay flat drawstring makeup bag this morning, and I have just finished Little Miss Mac's dog carrier that I was making yesterday. So you can see it's got rivets, it's his little collar bit, it's got a little badge on the side so you can pop his details in, goes underneath, pops up, and yes, Izzy is very, very pleased with that. I will take it home tonight and take some pictures of Duggar in his carrier. But needless to say, I think he's going to be well supported on his next trip to Arizona. So let's go next door and see what the ladies are up to. Well, furiously sewing, mustn't interrupt them. And Naomi's having a go at a little zip pouch. They've just had a delivery of these lovely gerbers. These are from the Flower Shed. The Flower Shed is owned by the lovely Julie Wedge, who's a very good friend of mine, and I've decided that I'm going to sign up to her subscription service so that we can have fresh flowers at BTHQ every couple of weeks, because it makes the place smell nice and look nice. I'll pop her details down below in the description. So everyone's gone home and my 505 spray has just arrived, so I have sprayed my quilt top and put it onto my wadding, and now I'm going to sandwich it up with the backing fabric, and then I can start to have a think about how I'm going to quilt it. So my quilt's all sandwiched up, everybody's gone home, and it's now time for me to go on the school run. So I'll be back tomorrow. I've got 2 one-to-ones tomorrow, and then plenty of time to get cracking on my quilt. I will see you in the morning. Bye! Good morning, it's Wednesday, it is 20 to 10. I've just had my first client come and go again. Sadly, she brought a sewing machine in for a get to know your sewing machine session, and it did not want to go. Top tip for you, if you've got an old vintage sewing machine, please, please, please take it out of the garage or the shed or anywhere cold. Sewing machines don't like to be stored in the cold. All of those parts inside contract and retract, and then they'll crack, and they'll all seize up. They need to be kept in the warm. So please keep them indoors or wrap them in a blanket, and they will serve you much longer and much better. So needless to say, this poor Elna now has to go and be serviced. I'm pretty sure it's salvageable, but it's just so cold and it doesn't want to work, poor thing. So she's headed off to get it fixed, and we'll come back again another day. The lovely Jane's just popped in to visit me. She's just brought me a whole heap of clothes rails here. In 2 weeks time we're doing something a little bit different. Every year we have an annual sale where we sell off lots of all of our old craft materials and bits and bobs and things like that. And this year, because I've had such a huge Marie Kondo back home, I've got loads of beautiful clothes and shoes and bags and all sorts of lovely things. So I thought we would have more of a tabletop sale, and as well as some of the fabrics and craft materials, I would sell off some of my clothes and also some of my handmade garments that no longer fit me. So I've borrowed some rails, and some of our regulars and my mum are also going to bring some of their things to sell too. And we're going to do some of it in aid of Mind, the mental health charity. So I think we're going to have like a charity table where we can put things that we don't want anything for, and then anything else that we sell that we do want some money for, then we can give a percentage of our sales to Mind. So we're starting to get ready for that. So as you can see, I've got a big suitcase of bits and pieces that I've brought from home so far, and the rest of my stuff is all in my mum's garage waiting to come over. So that's given me an hour and a half spare now, so I'm going to do a little bit of admin, but then I'm going to make a start on quilting my quilt top. Good afternoon, this is car cam. So the day has come to an end and I completely forgot to pick up the camera this afternoon, mainly because I was teaching on a one-to-one basis. And I've had yet another thing happen that happens all the time. So not only are people keeping their sewing machines in the cold, but it would appear that people are still starting to learn how to make their own clothes from home, going out and buying themselves a nice pattern that says easy sew, cutting it all out, follow the instructions, sewing it all together, and not understanding why it doesn't fit. Because they're cutting out the size that they would buy in the high street. It is such a common thing. I find it all the time. But if you make your own clothes and you follow a pattern and you've learnt a thing or two, then you will know that you always have to take your measurements and follow the measurements on the pattern, never go by the size on the size of the packet. But sadly, another person has fallen down that hole, came in today to see me to learn how to fit an invisible zip. But the garment that they were sewing it into didn't even fit them, and it was such a shame. And it's so disappointing for me as a teacher to see people falling down this hole all the time. It's a really regular occurrence, and I think, you know, if you just took a class instead of tried to fly solo, then it wouldn't happen and you wouldn't be disappointed. But I appreciate not everyone is in a position to be able to afford classes, or they might not have classes nearby them, so I get that that's not always possible. But if you can treat yourself to a class either online or in person with somebody, it is such a good thing to do. It really is. It just avoids that disappointment and heartache. And there are so many people, I bet, who've given up sewing or given up crochet or knitting or whatever it was because they tried to teach themselves and it went wrong, when actually it was probably a really simple thing that they could have done to make it go right for them, and yet they've given up and thought that they can't do it. So if you can afford it, or you can find places nearby, I really do recommend taking classes, not just from a selfish point of view. Of course I want you all to take classes, spend your money with me, but you know, there's a good reason that we exist, and it just is so much nicer to be able to learn without having all this disappointment. So I'm going to say goodbye. I've left early today. I've got a meeting at my son's school, so I'm sitting in the car. I'm early, sitting in the car waiting for that. But tomorrow is Thursday. I'm actually having a day off tomorrow. I'm planning on doing no work. And I will be back with another BTHQ Banter next week. So thank you very much for watching. If you haven't subscribed, please hit that big button down below, and I will see you again soon. Bye!